The last 5 years, Americans have come from this place of generally trusting the government, and I'm talking about as a whole, to the last 5 years, like, I don't believe, now I want to know about 9/11. I want to know about, all these things.
Isn't it amazing?
This is so sad. I want to know about 9/11, he says. This is really disappointing. The people are falling for this kind of shit.
We just have to stop thinking we're God.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd make a bad God because I'd be hitting the smote button over and over again.
Smoke button.
Smote.
Oh, smote. Very funny. Yeah, wow. So you're saying that if you were God, then you would just murder everybody. That's so funny, dude. This guy is really funny in the things that he said. That was a great joke there, Glenn. That you would just murder everybody. Ha ha.
But we have to stop being so arrogant to think that we know better.
That's right.
In 2020, when Trump lost, I thought, we're doomed.
I did too.
We're doomed.
Oh.
That was such a blessing.
It
because
was.
now everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's much worse, right? Over 4 years we went, it is much worse than we thought.
This is really sad, man. Really sad. Moore's Law. Yeah, man, I haven't heard about Moore's Law in a while. Moore's Law was this computational law where computers got basically doubled their speed every 18 months, I believe. Is that still going on? It can't be going on, but are they like doubling their power maybe every 18 months still? I'm not sure. Like, holy shit, really impressive. Just, we are like gods as humans. Like, really incredible shit. People underestimate how deeply incredible it is, what we have accomplished.
Gave him time to put this amazing team and plan together that is executing at lightning speed.
Welcome, Barbara Erlinger.
However, it's much worse than we thought.
It is.
What we still have not found and exposed is the real rot at the base of the apple.
Oh, don't worry. We'll have qubits, millions of them, that we can use to break encryption, right? Break 256-bit encryption. Is that right? Is that what we're going to have soon, Glenn? So no more secrets? The problem isn't secrets being hidden. The problem is lies being told. The problem is disinformation being spread. And that's been a problem throughout history. Every time disinformation gets completely out of control, things go bad. Just look at the Salem witch trials, for example. There are a billion examples. Moral panics of all sorts. The satanic panic. We don't even need the internet to have these moral panics appear and for shit to go sideways. It's just really, really disturbing shit.
Worse than we thought.
It is.
What we still have not found and exposed is the real rot at the base of the apple. As Musk said, sometimes there's an apple with a worm in it. We have a ball of worms. Yeah.
Well, he said bowl of worms, but okay, whatever.
And that hasn't really been understood yet.
Okay, great. Prove it. Show us. He says he found a ton of fraud in the system. Let's see it. Let's see the fraud. Show me. Charge people with fraud, if that's true. They've found zero fraud. Elon Musk has. Zero. None. Nobody has been charged with fraud. Nobody's even been accused of fraud, let alone charged. He made it up. It was a lie the whole time. Oops.
It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But I think if we can hold tight to each other and hold tight to eternal principles, we're going to be fine. Yeah. We're going to be fine. I mean, Jesus might come, which, 7 years before that's pretty bad. But we're going to be okay. And I think this time, we should be using this time to decide inside each of us what is real, what is not. What is human? What does it mean to be human? What is perfection really worth?
Pretty much anything seems to me, right?
And
I'm not sure what he means by that. If we could perfect our bodies by turning them into robots, I would totally upload my brain into a robot body.
And who do I serve? Why am I here? who is God? What is my relationship to God? Because
like, what does any of this even mean? Is this just completely meaningless nonsense that he's laying down for us right now?
In 48 months, think of this.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will have done some work. And in 48 once when this becomes very apparent to everybody, they're not saying, oh my gosh, I heard Glenn Beck talk about that. I should have done something. Right now is the time for everybody to do their work, to expose the secrets, to grab onto each other, to grab onto him, to grab onto what is real.
What I love how those two things were put next to each other in the sentence. To grab onto him, to grab onto what's real. They're they're mutually exclusive, brother. You can't do both. You can pick one of those. Hell yeah, I'd take being a cyborg. Right.
And cement it, because in 48 months, real trouble is coming.
Okay, 48 months. Let's set a calendar. Hang on. Computer, set a reminder to check Glenn Beck's 48-month prediction in 48 months from today at 1 p.m. March 5th, 2029, 1 p.m. I'll be there, and we will readdress this.
What is it that gives you the most peace in the midst of the next 48 months?
My family, but God.
Yeah.
I have, I'm so lucky. This is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, no f***ing shit. You're a millionaire. Filthy rich over here. You have no worries in your life. Literally zero. Of course you're lucky. I'm glad he's acknowledging it. Some people say, oh, I'm not lucky. I worked for it.
I'm so lucky I'm an alcoholic. Not because I'm drinking, but because I went through all of that.
What?
And so I had to find out what was real. And then I had to have redemption.
Okay, here we go. I assume he's not an alcoholic anymore. I'm an ex-addict, and I don't consider myself lucky for having to experience that. Why would anybody want to experience that?
And so I experienced, and I know he's real. I know redemption is real.
So good.
And when you have that, you can look at things and go, yeah, that's probably going to suck. But he's got it.
He's got it.
He's got it. And to not have, I shouldn't say it this way, courage is not a lack of fear. It is just the conviction of, gotta do it anyway. And so I have a lot of times where I'm afraid of things that are coming.
Conviction isn't a lack of fear. It's got to do it anyway. Interesting. I feel like conviction isn't the correct word to use there. I think what he meant was bravery is not lack of fear, but doing what's necessary despite the fear. Or one of my favorite sayings, discretion is the better part of valor. Love it.
But I have faith that he's got it.
Yeah.
We're going to be fine if we do what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
Right.
In the understanding that we have in the moment, and not become so arrogant and hold on to things so tight that we're white knuckling everything. Let it go. Let it go. Do the next right thing. Get closer to him and let it go. Let it
As the song says.
go.
So
let it go.
good. Last question. What is it that the church, you're here at NRB, what is it that the church needs to do better?
Not be complete shitheads to everybody around them, maybe. Actually follow the Bible. That could be helpful, I think.
I'm out of my league on this one.
Isn't he a pastor or something? No, he's a Mormon. So he doesn't, he believes that the current Protestant church is not operating correctly, but he believes that the Mormon church is operating perfectly correctly. So there are a ton of things he could say, but he doesn't want to upset the guy sitting in front of him, seems to me.
Personally, what I think is missing in my church and other people's churches that I go, I just went to a great church in Prestonwood just this last Sunday and spent great time with just great Baptists.
Okay. You're not supposed to go to other churches, are you? I thought, as a Mormon, I thought not.
And I saw it there in a good way, and I see it in all of our churches in a good way, but I also see this arrogance, this we have the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's what I've been complaining about. This belief that they have all the answers. Are you kidding me right now? I've been yelling this for like years.
You know, I really think when the Lord said, I'm sorry, I'm getting into the Gospel of Glenn here. This is so bad. But
what?
When the Lord said, come to me as children, as a dad of 4, that either means come to me with jam all over your hands and be like, ah, and, or it means come back to me saying, why? Why is it like this? Why does it work like this? Why is this? That's what children, that's all they say, to the point where you're like, you want to choke them and say, because it is.
Well, when I had my kid, I'm sorry, I'll take a little aside here. When I had my kid, I determined I was going to just keep answering. I was just going to tell them. They have questions, I'm going to give them the answers. But eventually you find that they're not looking for the answers. They're just repeating themselves over and over. They're not even listening to the answers. And even if they were listening to the answers, they wouldn't understand the answers. Like, why does a rainbow exist? And I explain because, the sky, I don't even remember why. I would explain rainbows, whatever it is. And then the kids say, why? And I would try to dig into like the light spectrums and the shape of the atmosphere and all of that. And they say, why? They're not even, they don't care anymore. Or when they're doing something wrong and I say, you're not allowed to do that. And they say, why? They're coloring on their walls because I'm going to have to repaint that and I don't want to. Why? And then they try to justify it away. Well, I'll repaint it. When you know damn well they're not going to repaint that shit. So I answer the questions as long as I can, but any reasonable person will come to realize that it's not, they aren't genuine questions. They're not even listening to the answers. They're looking for a way to justify it if they're trying to get out of trouble, or they're just repeating the same word over and over. So anyway.
Why is it like this? Why does it work like this? Why is this? That's what children, that's all they say, to the point where you're like, you want to choke them and say, because it is.
No, I mean, if my kid had a scientific question, I'd give him the answer always, every time. And if I didn't know it, I'd look it up. I stopped telling her why because I knew she's going to try to justify her way out of it. I'll repaint the walls.
If we come to him without the humility, and we come to him and we say, we know this is the way it is, I think we're not going to have the experience with him that would be the fullest experience.
Yeah.
We need to have the humility of going, I know God lives. I know I get my salvation from Jesus Christ. Beyond that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I know that what you're feeling,
right?
If you just walk a little closer to Christ, we're gonna be fine. And I don't judge you. I love you.
If you walk any closer with Christ, you're going to be inside of him, and I'm pretty sure that's forbidden.
You're a brother. I may not even like you, but I found through Christ a way to love you.
That's right.
Let's just be cool together and walk together, because it's gonna suck doing this walk alone. Right. We need each other. We need to listen to one another. We have to, if we're going to be more Christ-like.
Is this guy crying right now? Is he literally crying? He's crying.
We have to be so much more tolerant. I'm just thinking about how...
This is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I cannot stand it.
Tolerant the Lord has been of me.
Sure.
God, it's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, man. Look, I don't think I've cried, certainly not in front of another person, in 20 years. I think it's been 20 years. I'm only 35, I think. I was 15 maybe. I'm not saying that that's how it should be or anything. I'm like toxic masculinity and all that other stuff. But there's got to be a line, right, where like you're crying like way more than is worth. Like there's something going on in your head if you're crying this much, this often about Jesus. Also, what happened to all that masculinity shit? I thought they were like obsessed with being masculine, right? This doesn't seem very quote unquote masculine by their definition.
No, and
if you have a girlfriend, you'll cry. She'll see to it, right?
And never preaching to me, never dismissing me, never giving up on me. I give up on people, well, they're lost. I know when I get home, if I get home.
This is so fucking stupid, dude. I'm sorry.
And one of my brothers or sisters that was in my life that I didn't show compassion to and didn't try to show love all the time and try to just listen to them and understand, how did you get here? Sure. Okay? If I gave up on them, I know that my dad is going to say, wait, where's your sister? Well, Dad, I mean, I gave up on, they were crazy. What father is going to be cool with that?
None.
We are entering such amazing times, and we are so blessed to live at this time and to be awake, not woke, to be awake.
Oh my God.
And he's counting on us to just say, I don't understand you. I don't understand how you got there. I know what is true, and somehow you have changed. You now believe that a man can have a baby.
Yeah.
No. This is a complete bastardization of what anybody says or does or believes. People accept that members of the trans community who have transitioned from basically from women to men are capable of becoming pregnant, as they are. Everybody understands that they are capable of being pregnant. Are you denying that, like, trans people who are men can get pregnant? Do you not understand how biology works? Are you shitting me right now?
How did you get there? I need to understand. I don't want to try to change it. I need to understand how you got there. Because if we don't have that conversation, they will never change. They will never return into the fold. We have to actually have compassion.
This dude is dumb as dog shit. I'm sorry, man. I cannot stand it.
Actually have to have forgiveness in our hearts. We have to have empathy and humility in our hearts.
Yeah, he seems honest about this, but it's a shithead thing to say. It's a shithead thing, or let me rephrase. But he is a complete shithead, and he's not doing this out of the kindness of his own heart. He's trying his hardest to radicalize people. And you know what? He may seem sincere here, but he's not sincere in his beliefs. He is not. And he lies constantly. Let me just prove that. All right, here.
Donald Trump, I really truly
2016
believe, is a very dangerous man. If you listen to Chris, some of the things he said this weekend, I could go on at Fifth Avenue and I could shoot people and I wouldn't lose a single vote. He's joked about killing reporters like Putin. The mood of the country is very angry, but you never make a good decision when you're angry. The worst thing we can do is to now start looking at, well, who's going to get revenge? One of the things that Donald Trump does, and look, you want to take a shot at me? I mean, look at me, Chris. You can there's lots of jokes to be made. So it doesn't
self-deprecating jokes. Wow.
Bother me. But when you have a guy who is angry and then has an enemies list and starts just to take people down over and over and over again, if you disagree with him, he destroys you.
Yeah, that is an apt analysis.
Right now, we have become PETA. Shame on all of us.
2016 again.
Why not just, if you won't vote for Hillary or you won't vote for Trump, why not just cover me in a bucket of blood? Why not just shame me in the public square? Why not run them out of business? They're climate deniers. There is no difference between the two teams anymore.
So Trump is equally as bad as Hillary, is what he's saying, I think.
Oh, sure. One's for a little lower taxes. One's for the border. One's not. One's for international rule. One's for national rule. Which one is for the idea? that all men are created equal.
Democrats.
That all men have a right to pursue their own happiness and make their own goddamn decision.
Did he just say the words goddamn? I thought that was forbidden for Christians.
Which one? Which one? I contend neither of them. And so we will just soak each other in buckets of blood.
Point is, I don't know that he believes anything that he's saying right now. I'm leaning toward he doesn't believe any of this.
And I'm sorry, you are literally my brother.
But he's not literally your brother. He is literally your friend.
I may not like you, but I am commanded to love you.
Absolutely.
And
okay,
if our churches could have more of that,
amen,
I think we would be much farther along in our road.
Glenn Beck, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyway, wow, that was Glenn Beck's appearance on there. That was really stupid. Tell me what you think about it in the comments.